Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Chris Knoll.
And I'm student meteorologist Evan Thompson, and it has been a more beautiful day now that the sun is out, finally.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm this whole week. It looks really nice right now with the sun's out, but it's not looking like it's going to stay that way for too long.
We saw a little more of those pop-up showers earlier today in our area, which was not really entirely predicted from yesterday, but with that moisture and with that dew point that's been continuing with that southerly flow from the Gulf of Mexico, it's been finally at least striking a little bit today.
Yeah, I felt a little bit of droplets when I was walking to and from class, but more rain is on the way as that front is finally going to hit us. It's finally going to start moving through the area.
Timetable should be sometime tomorrow. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show for you, but as for right now, I'm enjoying the sun while it's out.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it too. It's been really a fantastic week to just be sitting at Landis, getting some studying in, enjoying the nice weather.
Absolutely. Should be good. Good news is the temperature should cool down. So if you're a fan of cold weather, we're getting back into the 30s this week once that cold front does come through. So we'll definitely have some temperature impacts from that.
Yeah, there will be lows in the 30s, not highs in the 30s.
Yes.
As expected for a tally. But I'm happy to going back to be wearing my jeans, as I've been saying all week.
So that helps with your laundry, right?
Yeah, it does.
Your shorts, yeah. Definitely. Helped me out as well, and it's been just a great day overall, honestly, except for those pop-up showers, but it hasn't been too bad for us. Yep.
It's been a pretty great day, but for now we're going to pass things off to Sloan with the wall with the overview.
Thanks, guys. It is looking better outside right now, but those clouds are sticking throughout the Big Bend. It is 72 degrees outside, so still a little cooler than it was earlier. The sun is out for the moment, but the clouds are going to start to pick back up into the overnight hours as well as those rain chances. Taking a look at the forecast model, we do see that front begin to move through tomorrow afternoon into the evening, with the heaviest of the rain coming in around 9 o'clock for the Big Bend. So again, drive with precautionary measures if you're out and about town tomorrow night, and keep your eyes out for some heavy rainfall. Tonight though, a cloudy night, as I've said, winds coming from the south, 67 degrees. The southerly winds are probably going to keep us a bit moist, a little humid outside. And then tomorrow's forecast, storms are in our forecast, 70 in St. Mark's, 76 for us here in Tallahassee, and 74 in Bainbridge. Once more, rain is expected tomorrow, but we have a fantastic weekend in sight. And today, the EOAS building finally opened. For now, I'm going to pass things off to Chris.
Thank you, Sloan. So now we're going to start moving in. Take a closer look at the southeast. You can really see this front as it's currently 44 degrees in Little Rock, not too far away. It's 22 degrees warmer, 66 in Jackson right now. This front has been sitting in this area the past few days and has been really bombarding them with some showers. Our dew point temperatures, you can still see this huge gradient between Little Rock and Jackson. Once again, elaborating that this is where the front is currently, as well as the southeast has been a huge moisture pocket throughout the United States. We've had really high dew points, we've had really muggy conditions, and once this front pushes through, hopefully those conditions will go away. Moving on into our storm outlook, with areas of central Mississippi as well as northern Alabama, even parts of Tennessee, they have a slight severe thunderstorm risk. That is a 2 out of 5 risk for a severe thunderstorm, with marginal risk extending from Louisiana to even further to parts of Kentucky. That is a 1 out of 5 risk. With all this light green area is a chance of thunderstorms of a less severe variety. Or as we're going to start moving into our watches and warnings. The big green area here, this is a flash flood watch. This has, if you've been watching our show this past week, this whole area has been under a flash flood watch for quite a while as that front really stalled out over this area. Over here in northern Kentucky, that is a flash flood warning, and this huge area in pink is a severe thunderstorm watch. As we're moving on into the radar right now. I apologize. You can see this large band of rain, which has been impacting this area. You see these reds as they start pushing on into that area of severe thunderstorm, and as well as the much darker shades of green where the flash flood warning is, as well as you're going to see some snow in the northern ends by Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. Going into forecast model, that front is finally going to start pushing through the area, which will thankfully leave the flash flood watches out for a little bit, as the forecast models will all start pushing through, eventually to Friday afternoon, pushing through Miami. Tonight's forecast is going to be another round of 60s unless you're behind the front. And then tomorrow's forecast is going to be another warm day with storms as the front will start pushing through. But for now, I'm going to pass things off to Evan with a local look.
Thank you very much, Chris. It has been finally, that sun has come out to greet us for today. It's been cloudy really all day throughout the day today, especially with those drizzling conditions that have really affected a lot of the area of Tallahassee throughout the day, but the sun finally providing for a good sunset picture for us tonight. 72 degrees, very comfortable with those shorts out, and 68 even along the coast for St. Mark's. Finally seeing a little bit of contrast between the coast and more inland areas of Tallahassee and Quincy and Donaldsonville, up at 74, but we're still very muggy out. Should not be a very good walk today if you happen to do one, or even tonight, because that mugginess is still going to be that moisture is still going to stay up with that southerly flow from the Gulf of Mexico that's been letting us have those drizzling conditions throughout the day today if you were outside at all. Good news is the drizzles that we have had, especially stuff that you really see now more into Alabama and areas of that. You see the giant front that has been affecting areas all the way from Houston to areas of where we're seeing of Washington, D.C. We even have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for areas of Alabama, but if we look more inland at Tallahassee, we're looking a lot more clear for our area, not dealing with this flash flood watch that is controlling all over the Kentucky and Tennessee areas. Just a little bit of ground clutter, but finally a lot of this has escaped, and we're now seeing a little bit of some escape in those clouds you saw from that Tallahassee cam of Doak Campbell Stadium for us. The clouds will continue to stick around with us and back. We won't really see that full blue sky, especially for the next 24 hours. That front finally starts to move through in tomorrow afternoon. Be careful on that commute home tomorrow afternoon, as that's likely when this is going to arrive throughout the afternoon tomorrow. 67 degrees is tonight's forecast. You might see a little bit of rainfall if you go around a little more on the coast, especially when that dew point is matching up with the temperature. But should be rising back up, especially for areas of Thursday to 76 degrees. Short weather, but make sure you grab that rain jacket with you, especially with that southerly flow at 10 miles per hour. Good news is these storms should definitely not be as severe and should not have as much of a threat as they did as last week. But I do expect those storms to last maybe into the morning, even on Friday. We'll see the effects from the cold front really last, with the temperatures getting down to 39 degrees on Friday night. As we look at the rest of our week, those temperatures finally starting to get back up into the 70-degree mark. We'll start feeling like we've been feeling summer and springtime weather here in Florida back all over again. But I'm going to head off to the desk right now. Look at Sloan interviewing a very special guest for us today.
Thank you so much, Evan. I'm here with Tevin Wooten from the Weather Channel, who is a Florida State graduate.
That's right, Gold Nose. I'm so happy to be back. Got back in town for the big unveiling of a new meteorology building here on campus.
It's a beautiful building. We're so excited to show it off to campus. But I'm going to ask you a few questions about your undergraduate experience.
Absolutely.
So you started at Arkansas, and then you came to Florida State. What was that like?
It was very different. If you know anything about Arkansas, you know it's landlocked, first of all. Florida, we've got water every which way, so if you want to go to the beach, it's like 30 minutes away, which is so awesome. But for me, I knew I was coming here for meteorology. That was my number one thing. I wanted a degree when I left the state of Florida, which I got here, thankfully, at Florida State. I packed up my car. I remember packing up my car and literally driving down the road and not looking back. So
that's always
everything I owned was in that car.
Hey, the beach is closer. We have that Florida weather weather. You say you miss being in
I
Atlanta
do miss
right now.
Florida weather all the time. It's cold and rainy back home at the Weather Channel, but coming back here, you can feel the moisture, the higher dew points in the air, which of course, I don't have any hair, so I don't have to worry about frizzy hair all the time. But it's just great to come back to the university and see the palm trees here, feel the heat a little bit and the moisture in the air. So.
And you won an Emmy as an undergrad, correct? What was
I did.
it for?
So I actually won two. One while I was at the University of Arkansas, and then the second right when before I got here at Florida State.
Okay.
They were both for weather, but one was for weather broadcast and for something that we did as a university as a team. The other was a weather report. So both of the same nature. One was from flooding back home in Arkansas around Christmas Day. But the first one, I always like to remember that first Emmy was with the University of Arkansas and UATV. And we reported on a tornado that happened, an EF4 tornado that happened in Valonia and Mayflower, Arkansas, central Arkansas, killed people unfortunately, but I was able to go in, and that was really my first immersion as a storyteller and as a weather enthusiast to kind of combine the two and see how it impacted people.
So what's it like working at the Weather Channel now?
It is everything and more you could possibly think of. I really enjoy being at the Weather Channel with all of the professionals that we have there. Storytelling is something that I really, truly love to do. So to do that and combine weather, it's everything.
And is there any advice you have for any meteorology students right now?
Stay in school. Remember that A's get you good grades, and A's are passing, but so are B's and C's. So it's a stressful career field, but it's also something that's rewarding at the end of the day. Just remember that main goal while you started.
It's all worth it in the end,
Yes.
Seminoles. But for now, I'm going to pass it back off to Evan at the wall to give us a look at the National.
Thank you very much, Sloan. Not every day we get a visit like Tevin Wooten. Thank you very much for visiting us, definitely this afternoon and tonight. But if we look at the setup across our national look, we're looking at two big cold fronts that are definitely affecting a lot of our area. Definitely the area that's going to be, or the rain that's going to be coming from the cold front is going to be bringing us rain into our area. It's going to be this cold front that's situated right over Nashville right now. The other one is bringing up a lot of Arctic weather, especially to areas of Minneapolis and Bismarck. You're hitting up temperatures of 19 and 20 up in your area, especially a lot of snow covering much of that cold front as well, and those low pressure systems with those temperatures reaching down into 27, 33, and 33 degrees. Meanwhile, that moisture bubble is still sticking up in front of that first cold front. We're seeing the contrast in dew point before and behind the cold front. In front of it, we have dew points of 70 in New Orleans, while behind it, we have a dew point of 45 in Memphis, and even much less of a dew point in Minneapolis with 6 behind 2 cold fronts that they've been affected by right now. You can really see that Arctic air finally starting to come down a lot, and that's going to affect our lows tonight if you're traveling anywhere up north near Minneapolis or the Dakotas. We see this moisture rising up very quickly and very rapidly from the Gulf of Mexico, and this jet stream that's been coming through Mexico down there, and from even the Pacific Ocean. It's not on the radar yet, but it is past Mexico way down there. You see it going way up into areas of St. Louis, and our main focus of the night is in areas of Kentucky and Tennessee. Big old precipitation weather happening right there. Mixture of ice, snow, and heavy rain for those areas. Definitely, and I think the most concern for me is for Jackson, Mississippi, and areas of Mississippi, stuff that's already gotten a lot of rain from last week. But if we zoom into areas of Kansas City and Chicago, that's where we're getting most of the snowy weather, especially behind that second front. It has affected areas of Kansas City. Cincinnati getting a lot of the rain right now, and throughout Kentucky and the bottom of the southern parts of Indiana and Ohio. We're reaching a severe thunderstorm watch for areas of Alabama. We have watches all across the Tennessee, Kentucky valleys, all the way throughout the area with this front that should be rolling on through. Good news for Tallahassee, we're not getting a lot of effect, as much effect as we had last week. Should not be as severe as all, but we'll see those temperatures really smack down tonight for areas of Bismarck and Minneapolis reaching negative degrees. And heading into tomorrow, we still see that heat bubble for a lot of the southeast, including Florida, with Tampa at 79 degrees. But right now, we're going to pass it off to Parker with our next local look.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Evan. So currently we're sitting at a comfortable 72 degrees outside right now. Look at that beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium. Just absolutely gorgeous. We didn't see any of the sun today, but for some reason we're seeing that sun tonight. However, the clouds will move into the evening hours, and we won't really see much of the sun tomorrow until late afternoon like we saw today. Satellite and radar not picking up too much. A few storms and a little bit of ground clutter just north of the Tallahassee region, but other than that, not too much going on. But if we look at the bigger picture, we're zooming out here. We got a load of thunderstorms off to our west and off to our north. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of Alabama and for a little bit of Mississippi and into Tennessee. However, much of these will expire around 12 a.m. This night into the morning hours, and a flash flood watch is in effect for much of that area as well. Over the next 24 hours, bringing it home locally, we can see clouds move in and out of the area, but much of the same for the next 24 hours. We're going to have cloudy conditions with a few patchy and rainy conditions here and there, maybe even a lightning strike or two embedded in these little storms. But for the next 24 hours, expect conditions like we saw today, but with a little bit more rain. Now, temperatures around the Big Bend region, 72 here in Tallahassee, 68 in St. Marks, 73 over there in Perry. Much of the Big Bend region seeing temperatures around the 70-degree mark, and those dew points are almost matching that 70-degree mark, so it feels absolutely dreadful outside. 69 degrees for your dew point in Monticello, 68 in St. Marks, and 66 in Apalachicola. Winds are out of the south, bringing all that moisture, matching those dew points with those temperatures, so we're nearing 100% humidity, but those southerly winds are definitely helping. Those are near gusting around 5 to 10 miles per hour and sustained winds around 5 miles per hour. Your evening planner for tonight, 71 around 7 p.m., 68 around 9, and 11 p.m. you can look for 67 degrees. That's actually a low for tonight, so the temperature won't fluctuate too much from that 67-degree mark. However, you can go outside and enjoy it. It's beautiful outside. I mean, we got the sun setting. We can see it right here in our window here in the studio. So go out and definitely enjoy that, because tomorrow is going to be absolutely dreadful, like the middle of the day today. 7 a.m. waking up, 68 degrees. By noon, we're going to start to see those rain clouds come into the area, capping off tomorrow around 74 degrees, but those rain showers pop into effect around 4 p.m. 7 days looking pretty nice other than tomorrow. The weekends lately have been fantastic. We've had sunny skies with very, very low rain chances, and those temperatures are cooling down. Like Evan said, we're going to reach 39 on Saturday, and then into Sunday, we're going to hit 67 degrees with a low of 47. And to start your work week off, on Monday, we're going to start off temperatures in the 70s and then work our way up into the mid-70s again. We're actually going to send things over to the desk right now with me and Evan. We're going to be talking about the Arctic blast that is coming along, not with this cold front that's going to be hitting us tomorrow evening and into Friday morning, but the one that's actually behind it out in the Midwest and off towards the West Coast.
Yeah, two impressive cold fronts that have really allowed the Arctic air to blast down all the way from the Arctic into areas of the Dakotas and Minnesota.
Yeah, this is something that we don't see too often during winter time. It happens maybe once or twice a season, but I mean, this is bringing the coldest air of the season to these areas.
Yeah, some of these areas even experiencing 10 to 20 degrees below their current coldest temperature already. That's impressive.
That's actually insane. So 10 to 20 degrees lower than what they've seen so far this year. I mean, that can mean 30, 40, even 50 degrees difference from what they're seeing, last week and this week.
Absolutely, especially for their wind chill degrees as well, where we're reaching down to negative 35 possibly in some areas. And some wind chill warnings have been posted that have even sent possibly forecasts into negative 45 degrees of wind chill. You're shivering just thinking about that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a Florida boy. I'm from Central Florida. I have barely even seen temperatures in the teens, and to just think about wind chill, negative 45, not a big fan of that.
Might get frostbite during that. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert on that personally.
If you're watching us in the Midwest, stay indoors for the next couple of days, because that is absolutely dreadful.
It is, absolutely. And coldest air of the season. Hopefully we don't see colder air than this, hopefully, for those areas. Keep your plants warm.
I don't even know what to suggest for that. I've got no idea what to suggest for that. I mean, negative 45 wind chill, that's You don't see that often.
Snuggle in. Maybe watch a full season of The Office or something like that.
Yeah, until your cable lines freeze, then you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
nothing.
Get some activity planned. Maybe this is like hurricane shelter in place.
Yeah,
plans.
but for Arctic.
Except for Arctic
regions.
colds, yeah. So be careful, definitely, especially if you happen to be traveling by car. Make sure your car stays warm with those engines definitely freezing up. So definitely look out for that.
Yeah.
In our area. But for now, we're going to send it off to Chris on the wall with Look at Florida.
All right, thank you. Hey, we're still here. Still there. All right, here we are. Sorry. You know what doesn't have negative 40-degree wind chill right now? Florida. Right now it's 82 degrees in Orlando. It's the middle of February right now. Everywhere else in the U.S. is experiencing a cold blast but us. Right now we're sitting very warm. Tallahassee and the rest of the Panhandle, we're sitting in the lower 70s. Jacksonville in the mid 70s. But as you start moving further towards South Florida and Orlando, it is going to be in the upper 70s and even 80 degrees. Our dew points are very high as well. 69 dew point in Pensacola, 65 Orlando, 69 Miami, 72 Key West. We have a lot of moisture in the air. It's feeling very muggy. You can almost taste the air if you're walking outside. With our heat indices, with those increased dew points, they're getting us to feel warmer than our current temperatures, as Orlando's feeling like it's 84 right now. Tampa, 79. Fort Myers, 82. Miami, 82. It's feeling very hot outside if you're living in Central and South Florida. But moving into our satellite radar, you can see the reason why it's so much warmer in Central and South Florida than it is in the Panhandle is because there is no clouds to speak of over South Florida. You have a little bit of cloud cover that's keeping us a little bit colder up north. But over in Central South Florida, no clouds to speak of. That high pressure system has been dominating the area, keeping the clouds out of view. Satellite radar, nothing to see. There's no clouds, no rain at the moment. The forecast model is going to start showing that front finally start pushing through, giving us a little bit of a break from this heat, as well as some showers, hitting the Panhandle first, and then it will start extending further and further south. 3-day forecast for Miami. The front's going to start hitting you Saturday, as you're going to notice the 85 to 78 degree temperature change, as well the increase to a 40% chance of rain. Going into Orlando's 3-day, Thursday into Friday is when you can expect this front to finally pass through you, give you that 11-degree change in the high temperatures from Thursday into Friday. You're going to have rain chances 20, 30, 40. You're going to have slight chances of rain, nothing too terrible. Jacksonville got a 20-degree temperature change from Thursday into Friday, as well as tonight's forecast. Mid-60s, got some storms out in Pensacola moving into tomorrow. You got storms over the Panhandle. It's going to be partly cloudy for the rest of Florida. For now, I'm going to hand things off to Evan with our last local look.
Thank you very much, Chris. And our last local look shows another look at our FSU weather stem camera. That sunset finally getting a little bit below the horizon, but definitely with those orange and red colors, especially during this time of year. It is very nice to see, especially since the blue sky has shown itself out a lot and the clouds have started to fade away just enough for us tonight. But expect those clouds definitely to still remain in the area. Should be cloudy conditions and 72 degrees with a nice southerly flow from the Gulf of Mexico into Tallahassee. The almanac shows we've been very much above the average, especially for the lows. Low 65, mainly see down to 41, a little more cooler definitely for winter time in this area. But the Gulf moisture has really influenced that low temperature range for Monticello, Thomasville, St. Mark's especially, where we see the contrast of 68 to areas of Donaldsonville, just getting more like 73 degrees, especially in areas of Valdosta at 76. Nothing too much on the radar to speak about around Tallahassee. We're experiencing a little bit ground clutter very close to us. But the front that'll make its way through tomorrow, not much of an impact through tonight. May see it possibly reach Pensacola, but that will be really the last of our worries for Thomasville, Bainbridge, Tallahassee, those areas. So the clouds have been very present throughout the area entirely. Look all around our radar. The good news about them, though, not too much moisture with them, especially as we see on our forecast model leading into tomorrow. Might see a little bit of a drop or two before this front comes through into Tallahassee. So look for the front more to come through around 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. A little bit more of various time range on that, but should definitely not be as severe as we saw that front come through last week. Definitely should be no chances of tornado or the Cape or any severe weather that's been able to support tornadoes at all, which is definitely good news for us. 67 tonight in Tallahassee, 67 in Thomasville, and 68 in Bainbridge. Might be experiencing a little more rain down on the coast when those dew points are very high for our area, especially this time of year, which is very muggy and very uncomfortable for us. The rain will actually start to hit us tomorrow, 76 over in Madison. The good news is those temperatures are still reaching up for that short weather, but definitely bring that jacket and be careful on the roads throughout tomorrow afternoon. As for tonight, we're looking pretty good. Cloudy conditions might block those views for stargazing, but besides that, we're looking pretty good until tomorrow when that rain starts to hit around 3 p.m. with 73 degrees for the forecast there. So definitely make sure you get that dog walk in tomorrow morning. The temperature when you wake up should be around 67 degrees. Chance of rain hits tomorrow afternoon, should be possibly into Friday morning as well. Might see some rain further in on Sunday, but watch out as the temperature gets down to 39 degrees on Friday night, and the temperatures will finally start to return, though, back to that spring Florida weather with those highs reaching up in the 70-degree ranges for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We're going to toss it off to the last year desk with me and Chris, and it's very sunny out right now. It's the clouds blocking a little bit of our view behind us, but better than what we've seen with those drizzling conditions earlier today.
Yeah, we had a little bit of drizzle, kept us a little bit cooler from reaching too high of a high today. But tomorrow, though, that's when the storms are coming. It's going to come in. It's going to finally drop us out of these upper 70s, the mid 70s temperature-wise, down, and we're going to be moving into the 60s, which I personally am a huge fan of the 60s.
I am a huge fan of, too. God, with those temperatures getting up to the 70s and the dew point being so high, that makes runs very uncomfortable, even for this time of year. I know a lot of people look to exercise outside during this type of year when it's very cool out. Good news is it should be that way on Saturday this weekend.
I'm especially looking forward to that. Every time I try running indoors, like my throat clogs up. It's really hard to run. But running outside, I mean, I can handle a little bit, but make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather.
And you can like us on Facebook. Our building just opened today. Our social media will be filled with openings of that.
Yeah, and you can watch us live on YouTube, like right now.
Yeah, that's the only way you can really watch us, so that's the only way you're knowing about the show right now. And follow us on Instagram. We've been posting about the openings of our show. Tevin came in. Special thanks to him today for coming out for us tonight. And for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason.
I'm student meteorologist Chris Knoll. Have a great night.